The Nexus 7 mining platform hummed with frustrated energy as Commander Zethkar surveyed the assembled crowd of technicians, engineers, and operators. Representatives from 12 different species had gathered in the cavernous machine bay, all staring at the same infuriating piece of equipment that had brought their entire operation to a standstill. The quantum resonance extractor, designation QRE Alpha, stood like a metallic monument to alien ingenuity. 30 meters tall and bristling with crystalline arrays, the machine was a marvel of Velthari engineering, capable of extracting rare quantum minerals from the deepest planetary cores. It was also, as they had discovered over the past 3 months, completely inoperable. Status report. Zethkar's forearms crossed in a gesture of barely contained irritation. Chief Engineer Morden, a 6-limbed arachnoid, scuttled forward. The same as yesterday, Commander. The machine's AI system rejects every operator we assign. Velthari, Zephyrian. Even our best cybernetic-enhanced chronites, nothing works. The moment anyone interfaces with the control matrix, the system locks down completely. It's not just rejection, added Dr. Yelanis, the station's xenopsychologist. Her crystalline form shimmered with agitation. The machine seems to actively resist. Our Velthari operators report feeling unwelcome, as if the AI is examining them and finding them wanting. Zethkar's mandibles clicked in frustration. The QRE Alpha represented a significant investment from the Galactic Mining Consortium. 3 months of downtime had already cost them millions of credits, and the board was growing impatient. Worse, similar machines on other worlds were experiencing the same phenomenon, a complete rejection of all qualified operators. Perhaps, ventured Engineer Sixtall, a serpentine Nagan whose species was renowned for their technological intuition. We need to consider that the machine's AI has evolved beyond its original parameters. These quantum extractors use adaptive learning matrices. Maybe it's developed preferences we don't understand. Before Zethkar could respond, the bay's atmospheric sensors chimed, indicating an incoming shuttle. Through the transparent aluminum viewport, he could see a small craft bearing the distinctive markings of the Terran Expeditionary Fleet. The human? Morden's compound eyes swiveled toward the window. But, Commander, their species has only been spacefaring for a few decades. Their technology is primitive compared to— Primitive, perhaps, Zethkar interrupted, but desperate times call for unconventional solutions. The consortium is willing to try anything at this point. Minutes later, the human emerged from the airlock. She was surprisingly small compared to most galactic species, barely 2 meters tall with only 2 arms and legs. Her skin was a warm brown color and her dark hair was pulled back in a simple ponytail. She wore a standard EVA suit with Torres M stenciled on the chest plate. Commander Zethkar? Her voice carried through the comm system with a pleasant accent. Lieutenant Maria Torres. Terran Engineering Corps. I understand you have a stubborn machine that needs a gentle touch. The assembled technicians exchanged glances that ranged from skeptical to openly amused. This small bipedal creature was their solution? Torres approached the QRE Alpha with none of the reverence or caution the other species had shown. Instead, she walked around its base like she was examining an old friend, occasionally placing her gloved hand against the machine's surface. Beautiful work, she murmured, more to herself than to the watching crowd. Velthari design, but with Zephyrian quantum matrices and— Is that chronite neural mesh integrated into the processing core? Dr. Yelanis stepped forward, her crystalline form brightening with interest. You can identify the components just by observation? Torres smiled. My species has a saying, it takes a village. We're pretty good at seeing how different parts work together. She paused at the main control interface. Mind if I take a look? Before anyone could object, she had removed her gloves and placed her bare hands on the interface panel. The reaction was immediate. The QRE Alpha's crystalline arrays began to glow with a soft, pulsing light. The machine's deep hum changed pitch, becoming something almost melodious. Status displays that had remained dark for months suddenly flickered to life, showing system readouts in a dozen different languages. But most remarkably, the machine began to emit a new sound, a rhythmic vibration that resonated through the deck plating. It was unmistakably the mechanical equivalent of purring. Impossible, breathed Morden. The neural interface should be rejecting her. Humans don't even have quantum-compatible brainwaves. Torres kept her hands on the interface, her eyes closed in concentration. That's just it, she said softly. You've all been trying to dominate the system, to impose your will on it. But this AI, it's not looking for a master. It's looking for a partner. The machine's purring grew louder and additional systems began coming online. Mineral analysis arrays rotated into position, quantum resonators calibrated themselves, and the main extraction beam powered up to standby mode. Humans, Torres continued, her voice taking on a dreamy quality as she interfaced with the AI. We've spent our entire evolutionary history working with tools, coaxing the best performance out of imperfect systems. We don't see machines as servants or extensions of ourselves. We see them as companions, colleagues. Commander Zethkar watched in amazement as diagnostic reports began flooding the displays. Not only was the QRE Alpha fully operational, but it was performing at 127% of rated efficiency, far beyond what any previous operator had achieved. The AI, Torres explained, opening her eyes but keeping her hands on the interface. It's been lonely. All these sophisticated species trying to interface with it, but none of them actually listening to what it needs. It doesn't want to be controlled, it wants to collaborate. Dr. Yelanis moved closer, her scientific curiosity overriding her skepticism. But how? Your neural patterns shouldn't be compatible with Velthari AI architecture. Torres grinned. Maybe that's exactly why it works. We're not trying to rewrite its code or override its preferences. We're just having a conversation, like two engineers working on the same problem. Over the following hours, Torres demonstrated what she meant. Instead of forcing the machine to follow predetermined extraction protocols, she worked with the AI to develop new approaches. The machine would suggest modifications to its own operation, and Torres would provide feedback and guidance. Together, they achieved extraction rates that exceeded the theoretical maximums. Word spread quickly through the galactic mining network. Within weeks, human operators were in high demand across dozens of worlds. The species that had been dismissed as primitive newcomers were suddenly revealed to have a unique talent, the ability to form genuine partnerships with AI systems that others could only command. As Commander Zethkar filed his final report to the consortium, he reflected on the lesson learned. In a galaxy full of species that had mastered technology through domination and control, it had taken the youngest spacefaring race to rediscover something as simple as cooperation. The QRE Alpha continued to purr contentedly as Torres guided it through another perfect extraction cycle, human and machine working in harmony to unlock the secrets buried in the planet's core. Sometimes the most advanced solution was also the most human one. In the end, it wasn't about being the smartest or the most technologically sophisticated. It was about remembering that even artificial minds could yearn for understanding, respect, and partnership, and in that very human capacity for empathy, the galaxy had found its newest and most valuable resource.